season. They've got a ton of players on the first and second teams on the All-MEAC, including their returning quarterback, running back, and 3 offensive linemen that made the All-First team. So they're pretty impressive. Trey Oliver is in the head coach, his 6th season. He's the former offensive coordinator for Southern University from 2016 to 2018. Taking on for the first time Terrence Graves, head coach for the 2nd season going in. He has an overall record here at Southern at 9-5. And speaking of that, Coach Terrence Graves here to talk about the game this Saturday.
Good afternoon. Another season, another year. Certainly a pleasure to be here today. We're excited for this opportunity to showcase and represent Southern University and Southern University athletics. We're playing against a really good opponent in North Carolina Central, Coach Trey Oliver, who's a good friend of mine. We go back a number of years. He's doing a phenomenal job with that program, and I know he's going to have his team ready, and we'll certainly be ready as well. And we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Coach, you got decided on starting quarterback?
Nope, we haven't. Well, you'll find out Saturday.
The decision hasn't came up, right? Like you haven't made the decision yet?
We have not made a decision. Those guys are still competing. It'll come down to Saturday. They'll tell me.
Can you talk a little bit about Ashton Strawberry? You arrived on campus last week, already practicing with the team, quarterbacks?
Well, he got here about 4 days ago, 5 days ago maybe now, and it's a young man that's a pretty good quarterback. He was at Kahoma, and he had an opportunity to go somewhere else, but then, of course, talk about relationships matter all the time, and so some of the coaches knew about him and knew of him and knew that he had an opportunity to come and be a part of our program. So we got him in the boat, and we're glad to have him.
Would you consider him a part of the quarterback competition?
Not at this stage of the game, but, it's a long season. So, but to have another experienced quarterback is always good.
What is the chance that you play Jalen and Cameron?
We'll play both. We'll play both. That's not a question about it. I think a lot of times people get caught up into having to have one guy. Now, that may be good in the NFL, but in college football, when you have an opportunity to have, you want your best players on the field at all times. So if we have an opportunity to play those guys, we're going to play them.
Two-part question on the offensive line. I seen that Jerron Lewis has been working at left tackle. First question, is he going to remain at left tackle? And if so, who's going to fill in that right guard?
Well, to be honest with you, Coach Evans is playing, he's shuffling them around. So last night, Jerron was at right tackle. So, he's just finding the mix. And the good thing about it, it's always good when you can have guys that can play multiple positions. It makes it a lot easier. When you lock in and have a guy that is maybe a tackle, maybe a guard, and maybe a center. But we have a number of guys that can play all 5 positions. We got some guys that can play, both inside spots. So Coach Evans and the offensive staff, however they shuffle that around. But if it's left guard, then it'll be Christian Garcia. If Jerron is out on the wing.
I know you said it's run back by committee, but do you have a rotation set? Who's going to get the first half, second, third?
I work for the football coaches, the assistant coaches. They tell me how they're going to do that thing. So, Mike has been going out there with the first group the last couple of days. But like I said, those guys are going to tell me how we're going to do this thing. And I trust them. And, again, if you don't trust your assistant coaches, then why have them? So, and I feel comfortable with our both sides of the ball and our kicking staff to make sure that they put the right guys in position. Again, but Mike has been getting the brunt of the payload the last couple of days. So if I was to say, it'd probably be Mike starting off.
Is not having, I guess, a quarterback officially is known and a running back by committee, that kind of an advantage going against a team that doesn't really know what they'll definitely see out there?
No, I don't think it's an advantage. I think, people want to make that as hey, we don't keep them guessing because, Trey and his staff, they're preparing for both quarterbacks. So basically, whoever goes out there first, then whatever game plan they have for that quarterback, that's what they're going to use. I mean, it's not, some people like to use that as the element of surprise, but it's not that big of a deal. So, and he stated it yesterday on the press conference. He said, they prepare for both. So, whoever goes out there first, that's how they're going to, try to defend it. So, we'll do what we have to do.
How do you think that gives you an advantage, that they're preparing for both quarterbacks?
It doesn't. It doesn't give you an advantage. It just gives them an opportunity to prepare for both. It's those guys. That's what they do. We football coaches, so we sit around and we scheme up, 1 and 2 and 3 and whomever. So again, it's like you got a game plan for quarterback A and you got a game plan for quarterback B. So whoever goes out on the center first, that's the game plan that you use. So that the game plan has been prepared for both, and trust me, there's not a whole lot of deviation from the game plan. It's just because of one may be better in something than the other. So you say, okay, well, his strength is this, so we're going to scheme based on that, but it's not a big advantage at all, in my opinion.
With you guys playing in a week 0 game, and there's not as many other teams playing at the same time, how big is that for Southern to be on national TV, in week 0?
Oh, it's great. It's a great opportunity. We're the only show in town to have exposure on this level, ABC. I told the guys last night, we're always on television, so it's nothing really too big for us. We'll play 7 times this year, I believe, on television, and so we're not going to do anything different. We're not putting any pressure. Oh, it's on ABC, it's a TV game, and no, it's football. And we're going to go out there and play football like we're capable of playing. And we're excited, though. We're excited to be able to represent the university, the athletic program on national television. Saturday night, everybody's going to be glued in because it's football season. Everybody wants to see football, especially in the Deep South. So we're excited about the opportunity.
Coach, the Eagles returned a very good defense from last year. They got a new defensive coordinator. What concerns you the most about this defensive squad for the Eagles?
I don't have really any concerns. When you know the type of coach that Trey is, he's a defensive guy. So I know he's going to have his hand in it. So he's going to have those guys prepared. They're going to fly around. They're going to make plays. We just got to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do offensively and execute at our, it's about us. They have a great team. They have players. Trey does a great job with that program. But, we're focusing on what we need to do and what we need to do well. And, you respect everybody, but you don't fear anybody. So we just got to make sure that we're ready to go on Saturday.
What does their starting quarterback, Howard, bring to the table? First team All-MEAC last year at the end of the season, and then preseason he's the All-SWAC player again at quarterback. What does he bring to the table?
He's a veteran. He's very experienced. He's had a lot of snaps. He's the leader of the team. He's getting coached by the former quarterback that helped him win the national championship a few years ago. So they have a really good relationship, and he understands. He did a phenomenal job when he was there. And so, him being experienced is going to help them. It's not like they're going out there with a new guy. So he's seen a lot of plays and a lot of things that teams try to do to him. So we just got to do our best to not give him the same looks twice and try to be opportunistic and do some things that take advantage of some things that we've seen on film.
What is the, emphasis for your defensive line going into North Carolina Central offensive line that returns all their starters?
Get off the ball, create a new line of scrimmage, and make plays. That's for everybody. There's no game plan. We got to create a new line of scrimmage, get off the ball, and make plays. That's what we got to do.
And back to the quarterback battle, why do you think, or not why, but what factors have led to this battle being so close and waiting this long to make that decision?
They're doing a great job of leading and executing the offense. So you give them an opportunity. It's Jalen's job to lose, but those guys are competing every single day. And I put all the faith and trust in Coach McNair, the quarterback's coach, Coach Frederick, the offensive coordinator. I give them all. I know that they're going to put the right guy out there for us to give ourselves a better chance to win. So, and we got 2 really, really good quarterbacks. And so those guys are competing. Those guys are not taking a back seat. And so it's going to be fun.
Who's going to step in that second linebacker spot next to Vince?
It'll probably be Mike Jones. Mike Jones or Jamal Campbell. One of those 2 guys will be those. And we'll be rotating those linebackers anyway. We'll play a lot of guys. Of course, first game of the season. It's going to be humid, probably. And you want, and as Coach Miller says, there's strength in numbers. So we want to have we want to play as many guys as we can on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game, because that helps you later on in the ball game, and it helps you later on in the season. That day of what I call the old caveman days, where one guy plays 100 plays a game, that day is long gone. And so we got to make sure that we want to have a number of guys ready to go to play, and there's no drop-off. And so we're looking forward to playing a number of people on Saturday.
Is there any position group that you've seen really take some big leaps and jumps throughout fall camp, that's really gotten better?
Wide receiver group, no question. We played a lot of young guys last year. Those guys, new guys have done a tremendous job. Again, having Coach Frederick for a second year, really honing in and understanding the scheme, able to expound and do some things schematically and watch those guys. I told Coach Burrell last week, I think it was last week or week before, I told him, I said, Coach, you got the Smurfs. And you got to go way back in football to know who the Smurfs are. And he said, yeah, I got some fast Smurfs. And I said, you got a combination of the Smurfs and the Fun Bunch. So I'm aging myself. But if you're a true football historian, you know what wide receiver core I'm speaking of. And then the secondary has done a great job. They've done a really good job experience-wise. Even the new guys have come in and done a really good job of learning the system and going out there and competing and making plays.
What kind of statement do you guys want to make on Saturday?
We want to win. That's the statement. We want to win. We want to win. I've been asked this question before about the type of wins, the close wins, the big wins. Every game you want to be able to, late in the game you want to kind of relax, but I'll take them any way I can get them. Whether it's 1 point or 100 points, a win is a win is a win.
What kind of role will Darren Morris play in Saturday's game?
He'll play a major role. He's our veteran. He's a guy that we look to lead us on the offensive side of the ball and in the team, and so we're excited for him. He's healthy. He's excited. He's been working hard for this opportunity, so we're excited to see what he does on Saturday.
From a mental standpoint, how important is it for the offense to, progress down the field early in the game and just build a little bit of rhythm?
It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. The offense, if you looked at us last year, we moved the ball down the field. It was just putting the ball in the end zone was the Achilles heel during the first part of the year. We can move the ball up and down the field, but it was just something about getting across that solid line behind the 1 yard line. It was tended to be problematic, but I think those guys have done a really good job of not having that problem. And I tell you, in camp, we've had a lot of explosive plays. Guys have really done a good job of understanding that, and those guys understand that. They know that. They know that we have to be better offensively early and often to give ourselves a chance to be who we want to be.
When you turn on the film, they returned 5 offensive lineman starters. What kind of challenges do you think your D-line is going to run into on Saturday going against a unit like that?
Again, it's those guys have experience, but our job is to get off the ball, create a new line of scrimmage, and make plays. And so we have to schematically do things to give ourselves an advantage. Of course, they have guys returning, so they have experience, and nothing beats experience. So, but we have to win the battles that we have a chance to win. When we get one-on-one, we got to win them. When we run games, we got to win them. It's no secret. We're going to bring pressure. So when we bring pressure, we got to get there. And so if we do that, then that helps us. If it doesn't, it helps them. So we got to make sure that we're being our best selves, and everybody's on the same line of communication and on the same accord, so we can play our best football.
How important is it going to be to really start fast and build that momentum to, help carry you through the game?
You always want to start fast. You want to start fast and finish strong. And, you want to start fast, but then, sometimes it's not going to happen. But you got to still have the mindset, I'm going to finish strong, because it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And there's been times, of course, we haven't always started off fast, but we finished strong. And so, we hope to have the fast starts. We want to get off to the fast starts because it does set a tone for the game. But then also if it does not happen, then how do you adjust? That's the thing that we talk about, okay? We're behind the change early on, or we're struggling a little bit early. Okay, who steps up now? Who makes the plays? Who gets this thing going? Who gets the train back on track? And so, you want to start fast. We hope to start fast. We're looking to start fast. But, you know, we won't know until we play that game.
Did you leave fall camp healthy, or is there any injuries going soon up off that day?
No, we came out relatively healthy in fall camp. Guys did a great job. And the thing that we really stressed, even in the spring and then going into the fall, is the pro type of practice mentality in terms of taking care of one another. You know, you can be physical and stay off the ground. And those guys really worked to do that. And the thing, you know you're going in the right direction when guys hit the ground and you hear other guys say, stay off the ground, stay up. You know, it's not coaches. If they say it before us, then we know they got it. And that's the thing about it. You got to go hard, you got to go fast, and then you got to be physical, but you got to stay off the ground because your body only is going to take so many hits. And so we're trying to keep guys upright. And the goal is always to get to Saturday. And so that's what those guys have done a great job of doing that.
Is Dylan Compton also competing that quarterback spot, or is it mainly two boys?
All of them competing. He's just a youngster. You know, this guy's, he's a good one now. I'm telling you, I really, really, really like old Dylan. And Dylan is going to be a really good football player here at Southern University. The thing that these other two guys got on him is experience. And so, but he doesn't back down. You know, Coach puts him in there with the first group. And, you know, it's like anything else. Coach Miller and them will bring the house. And sometimes they get him and sometimes he get them. So, you know, and that's what it's all about. When you see a guy that he's not really shaking about what you're trying to do to him, because that's what you do to young people, freshmen and newcomers. You try to, you know, rile them up. You try to, you know, knock them off their game by bringing pressure. And he does a great job of handling it. So the young man is doing a really, really good job. And like I said, he came in and, you know, he's growing and he's developing. So we're excited about him.
Thank you, Coach Graves. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Go Jags.
The Redskins, the Smurfs, Ricky Sanders,
Hey, you got to know. You got to know about the Spurs in the front bar. And I'm not even a fan of those teams. Great fan, that was my daddy's team.
He was
But you got to give him what you got. Miami Dolphins.